Hello my friends, welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. In this beautiful Friday morning, this beautiful day, I want to talk to you very quickly about documenting your exhibitions, your events, because it's really, really important. Well, hello my friend, welcome back to Breakfast with Sergio. Super happy to be here with you, enjoying this amazing, beautiful morning. I'm on my way out. So before I do that, before I get going with my day, I want to stop by here really quickly and talk really briefly about documenting the importance for you as an artist to document your activity, the things that you do as an artist. For example, I know it's Friday night. Many of you, perhaps you have an event happening. Maybe you have an opening. Maybe you have an open house this weekend. Maybe you're doing an art fair, whatever. I'm sure something is coming up for you at some point. So something that I want to talk about really quickly is the importance of documenting what you do. Unfortunately, we live today in a world that if you don't document it, it's like it never happened. Like if you don't have documentation of what you did, it's easily and quickly forgotten. It's like it never happened, because we live in a fast-paced world where everything moves so quickly. What's news this minute is all news 10 minutes from now. So you gotta capture your activity in a way that you can use that, to document and to continue building momentum for all the work that you did towards that event. For example, if you have an opening, if you have an open house, if you're participating in an art fair, whatever it may be, I want to give you some ideas in which you can document that event. One, of course, is photographs, right? Make sure you take lots of photographs. Really, and when I mean lots of them, I mean a lot of them. Just go and take tons of pictures. Again, we no longer have to use film like we used to do before, that it was really expensive. So it's so easy to just go around, take tons of pictures. What I recommend is get there early before anybody else, or come in a different day and document your work, how it looks in the show. If it's a group show, maybe arrive a little bit early so that you can document, your work in the show from different angles. I think that's going to help you also get a really nice view of how the work looks in the show. And then you can put it in your website, you can put that in your social media post, right? Continue giving promotion to the show, not just before the opening, but all throughout the show and even afterwards. So take different angles so that you can post different pictures, not the same one over and over, but different pictures of how your work looks in the show. Something easy that anyone can do. Another thing you can do is you can ask a friend to take pictures of you interacting with the audience, interacting with the public, particularly if you're in a solo show. Not just document the exhibition, but maybe ask a friend or give your phone to somebody that you trust and and say, hey, would you mind for the next hour or so just take pictures of me interacting with people? That's a great also way to document the event in a way that you can use those photographs later for promotion, for a next show that you have, for a proposal. You have beautiful pictures of you, not just posing in front of the artwork, but rather, in the process of engaging with the people, with the public, something that I have done many times. And another thing you can do is ask that person, okay, besides taking pictures, would you mind also taking some videos with my camera? And what you want to do is, for example, if let's say that's you right there, you're standing talking to somebody. If I have the camera, I would actually move a little bit like this and do a almost not a panoramic, but almost do a little bit of motion, so the video is not just static, but it has a little motion. So a video like that, in a 5-10 second video that is moving, it's actually very powerful, because you can then cut those out into like a little feature after the show that combines some of those motion videos, some still shots, and maybe some spoken word. So, and there are apps that I have shared here on Breakfast with Sergio that I've shown you before that you can use, to combine all those elements into one simple 30-second promotion, which will be pretty awesome. Great way to document that event. Another one, you should And if you have time in this event, maybe if you're comfortable with it, talk to the camera. Talk to the camera. Again, if you arrive a few minutes early, just set your camera on a tripod, or if a friend can hold the phone for you, and you say a few words about the show. Particularly if it's a solo show, or say a few words about the work that's in the show, or the event, or the open house. Another idea is you can interview someone. If you have a collector that you know, for example, that owns some of your work and is coming to the show, ask him or her, hey, would you mind saying a few words about what do you appreciate about my work? I have done that before myself. Cold turkey, I have asked, one of my collectors, I did this a couple years ago, I remember. She came to one of my shows. She's super nice. I said, hey, would you be okay if I ask you a couple questions, or if you say a couple things about my work here for a video that I'm producing? And to my surprise, she said, oh yeah, for sure, why not? And she was awesome. She did an amazing job, and that was so cool. I used that in the promotion of the show, and I can still use it in the promotion of my work way after the show, because she's talking about my work in general terms. Something else you can do. Now, if you have a hard time knowing what to say in the video, right, what you can do is beforehand write down like 3 questions that you would ask, right? For example, if you were interviewing yourself, what 3 questions would you ask yourself? For example, tell me about the show, or what's the meaning of the title that you gave to the show, or what's the goal of this event, right? Or tell us about your newest work, something. Again, if you were being interviewed, what questions would you hope that they would ask? And what you do is you write down those 3-4 questions on a note card, and then you can give them to the person that's holding the phone, and you can ask them, hey, can you ask me those 3 questions? Ask me the first question. So the person asks you the question, and then you answer the question starting with the question itself. Like, for example, so what do I think about my work? Well, let me tell you blah 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 blah, right? That way you give some context to the answer you're giving. So almost like if you're doing an interview, and actually you're doing an interview, except that you have full control of the question and of the answer. And again, those things you can use also very easily. Again, these are just ideas in which you can use to document your show, yourself, your event, so that you have all this wealth of material that you can use later on. Another one, a time lapse. Very cool now, just about every phone. If you have a smartphone, they can do smart things like time lapse. You set your phone in a corner, maybe as the show starts and as people are coming in for the first 30 minutes, for example, and then from that you produce just a 15-second video that you can play later on. Super cool idea. Another one, document the whole process. For those of you who love video and you have no problem with video, get one of those selfie sticks. Document you coming into the show. Talk to the camera. In other words, document the process of what is it like to have a show. What is it like to have an event? What is it like, those things are things that you can use to promote your event and your show later on. And again, I just give you a bunch of ideas, and there's more, but that's just to start with. You can also write about the show, invite somebody to write about the show, besides whatever the gallery may be doing. Again, these are just ideas for documenting the event, so that you can use that documentation for future promotions, for promotion of the show while you're still up, and whatnot. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, my friends, of Breakfast with Sergio. Thanks so much for watching. It's Friday, gotta go. It's a beautiful day out, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next time. Please share this episode with your friend. It's an awesome way in which you can help me out, spread the good word about the awesome things that we can do as artists to advance our career to the next level. Goodbye.